Alright guys, today I'm going to be giving you my prediction for the top 10 countries in the world for coasters. Now, this isn't going to be talking about anything other than coasters, and really, the big two factors are how good the coasters are as well as how many credits I'd pick up if I take a trip. So, before we get started, have to mention South Korea and Australia. T-Express in South Korea just looks like top 15 coaster in the world. Same with DC Rivals in Australia, but they're not quite enough to carry the weaker lineups in those countries to a top 10 spot, but have to mention them for those two coasters. So let's get started with number 10, which is France. I'll also be giving you my prediction for the top three in this country, or all the countries, to give you like what I think the standouts are. So for France, that would be Tonnerre Two Zeus at 3, Alpina Blitz at 2, and Totatis at 1. Obviously, I've only been to one of these 10 countries, so I don't know for sure that ranking, but that's my prediction at least just by watching POVs. And France has a lot of depth. It doesn't have any true ultra elite coasters unless Totatis is better than I'm thinking. But yeah, they have a lot of coasters here. Probably the best Big Thunder. They got Wild Train, Yukon Quad. They've got a definitely decent collection, a lot of parks to choose from. Overall, yeah, it's a solid, well-rounded country, but definitely not having a like top 25 coaster in the world holds them back from a higher spot. So number 9 is the Netherlands. Their top 3 looks to be 3 Troy, 2 Lost Gravity, and 1 Untamed. I know a lot of people would definitely have Goliath in there, but I don't know. I definitely think Troy and Lost Gravity look better. Great GCI and great mock Big Dipper. And then, of course, Untamed. Definitely an upper tier looking RMC. And then, again, Goliath, another great supporter. You've got Jorsen de Draak and Baron 1898 at Efteling. Great GCI dueling Woody and possibly the best B&M dive in the world with Baron. And then you've got other great coasters across the country. Bit of a smaller lineup, but Untamed definitely looks like a good standout with a bunch of great supporters in that lineup. So it's at number 9. Number 8 is Sweden. This lineup isn't quite as deep as some of the others like France and the Netherlands even, but the top 3 in this one, and really 8 and 6 are all kind of similar. They're really top heavy, but yeah, Sweden's got Balder at 3, Wildfire at 2, and Helix at 1. Those top 2 could be interchangeable, but wouldn't be surprised if both of those are top 20 coasters of all time. Especially Helix. I'm a big mock rides fan, especially after I rode Copperhead Strike, and Helix just looks like the mock multi-launch perfected, really does. And then Wildfire, this massive RMC topper track, and then Balder, one of the 4 Intamin prefabs. Can't really go wrong there. You've got other great supporters like Trenin, Scar of Summerland. That's a weird one. Valkyria. Monster, a lot of really good supporting cast rides from parks like Grunelund and Liseberg. Just, again, doesn't have a whole lot of depth after the top 3, but that top 3 is solid. And the same can definitely be said for number 7, Poland. This country's top 3 is stacked. We've got Hyperion at 3, Let Coaster at 2, and Zadra at 1. I mean, RMC Hyper Hybrid at number 1 doesn't get a whole lot better than that. Then you got probably the best Vekoma in the world with Let Coaster, and then Hyperion, great looking modern Intamin Hyper. But after that, the lineup takes a huge nosedive. You've got Formula, Abyssus, you got Werewolf, which is a clone of White Lightning, and Heidi the Ride. So yeah, it's pretty slim pickings after the big 3, but yeah, that's such a good top 3. That has to be up there. Number 6 is very similar. It's Belgium. It's really a big 2 here in Belgium. Number 3, Fury. I mean, it looks cool. I'm not super high on Gerstlauer except for one of their rides, but it looks good for sure. but the top two is so good. It really doesn't get too much better than this top two. We've got Conda at Walibi, Belgium, which is a crazy-looking Intamin mega coaster. And, of course, the one, the only Ride to Happiness at Plopsaland, Japan. Definitely a contender for best coaster in the world right there. Just crazy Mach Extreme spinner. Like, absolute glowing reviews from everyone that rides it. Like, that top two really carries it. Other supporters are rides like Heidi the Ride that I mentioned earlier, Anubis, Psyche Underground, which none of those rides really is really anything special. I mean, they're not even rides that would be like the best at Darien Lake. So, yeah, that kind of just goes to show how top-heavy Belgium is. But, again, that top two is enough to bring it up to number 6, in my opinion. Number 5, this might make some people mad. It's the UK. And another thing is I'm including coasters opening up this year. And without a certain coaster opening up this year in the UK, I'm not even sure it would have made the list. The top 3 with that coaster is 3 Nemesis, 2 Icon, and of course 1 Hyperia, another extremely good-looking Mach coaster opening this year. Definitely another contender for one of the greatest, if not the greatest coaster of all time. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you. The UK really doesn't have anything too special. I know there's a ton of big Nemesis and Smiler fans, whatever. I'm not really seeing how those are ultra elite coasters. Icon looks like the next best, in my opinion. Definitely looks underrated, I'd say, even. But after that, you got like Nemesis, okay. Smiler, Stealth, Megaphobia. Like nothing too special. Like, it's really Hyperia and then a huge drop-off, and I don't know, Hyperia is good enough, and how much the UK has is good enough to bring it up to number 5, but, I mean, I know a lot of people who would probably maybe even put this at number 2, which, yeah, no way. 5 is even generous, because Ride to Happiness can cancel out Hyperia, and then Conda just absolutely crushes anything else the UK has, but I'll put the UK over Belgium just because of how much depth they have, but yeah, it was a tough decision putting them this high. So at number 4, we have Japan. Their top 3 looks to be Kawasemi, Ejinika, and Hakuge. Kawasemi, I'm a big fan of the Megalites. They look fantastic. And then that top 2 again, like Belgium, looks so good. Ejinika, I don't think it looks like a contender for best in the world like some people say, but definitely looks crazy. And then Hakuge, one of the top tier RMCs, it's just stacked. And then you've got so many other great supporting rides like all the Togos, Surf Coaster, Leviathan, Bandit, Fujiyama, the Ultra Twisters. You got Flying Dinosaur, Pyrenees, Hollywood Dream, Big Boom. I mean, that first drop on Big Boom looks phenomenal. Thunder Dolphin, Diving Coaster Vanish, which is more of a spectacle than an actually good ride, but still, it's something. And they got so much more. It's just such a stacked country. Not really a top coaster in the world contender there. I know, again, a lot of people would say maybe Hakuge or Ejinika. I say they're definitely contenders for top 10 in the world, but not quite the best. But that's still enough to get them up into 4th with how stacked the lineup is after it even. So number 3 is the country with by far the most coasters out of any of them. It's China. The top 3 here looks to be 3 Darling Dragon, 2 Wood Coaster, and 1 Dino Conda. Again, Dino Conda looks like top 25 in the world for sure. Maybe not top 10, but still great. And then you got Wood Coaster, by far the best looking GCI. Honestly, maybe even on par with Voyage. And then Darling Dragon, definitely the second best looking Gravity group. Technically the second and third best because it's a dueling coaster, so 2 credits. But the main thing that puts China this high is the fact that they have just well over 1,000 coasters. Over 1,500. It's stupid how many coasters they have here. And they're all, most of them are pretty good. It's not just Wacky Worms here. You've got rides like Coaster Through the Clouds, Rush Out of Yulin Stronghold, Dueling Dragons, Soaring with Dragons, Steel Dolphin, the Jungle Trailblazers, Time Travel, Python and Bamboo Forest, Wood Coaster Fireball, the Megalites. I mean, we could just be going here for days listing all the good coasters in China. But, I mean, yeah, you get the point. They have probably the best depth of any country in the world, maybe even more than the number one spot, maybe. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's a really good depth lineup. And if they got Hyperia instead of the UK, they'd probably be number 2, or at least they'd be really competitive with the number 2 spot. But as it is, it's a no-brainer to put Germany at number 2. This is probably the best country in the world for like size to coaster collection ratio, because you guys probably know what the number 1 spot is by now, and it is way, way bigger than this country, and yet their top 3 is still 3 Expedition GeForce, 2 Der Schwerteskarnen, and 1 Voltron coming this year. Like, that is stupid for a country this size to have that stacked of a top 3, and to have this stacked of a supporting cast with rides like Tehran, Black Mamba, Fly, Karajo, Colossus Comforter, Geigaten, Flug von Novgorod, Wilda Hilda, Star Trek Operation Enterprise, Dynamite, El Toro, not the real El Toro, the GCI, but still, like, you've just got so much good depth and a stacked top 3. It really has everything. It's got quantity, it's got super good quality. I do think Germany is the best country, like, size to coaster collection ratio, but I mean, it's pretty obvious what number 1 is. It's the US. Like, you can't really compete with it. Top 3, Wildcats Revenge at 3, Airy Force 1 at 2, and El Toro at 1. I don't know. I don't care what these new generation mock coasters can do and what Joe Draves has up his sleeve. It's gonna really take something to beat El Toro for me, because those big 4 moments are just so far ahead of any other moments on any coaster. And then, again, you've got 20 RMCs here. I'm not even going to talk about the US. We all know why it's the best. So, yeah, that's my ranking of the top 10 countries for coasters. Let me know what you guys thought of this video down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.